Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing fantastic this morning. Appreciate you guys jumping on and joining today. I think what I want to do is give just a couple of minutes for some additional folks to jump on. We've got folks still piling in right now, and so maybe 1 or 2 minutes. We'll let you guys get settled, get your coffee, and we'll be right back.
Jeremy, how's the weather there in Arkansas?
It's great, and I think, as I said, we'll be right back. I think everybody can still see and hear us, so maybe we can just
Yeah.
have the weather chat here.
Yes.
Oh no, it's great. Super hot. I think typical weather that we would see out here this time of the year. So
And does it get pretty humid out there? I don't recall.
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sure does.
Yeah,
You
Scott,
know,
I'm here in Des Moines and it's humid and hot. I mean, it's 9 a.m. and I feel like it's 90 degrees and it's worse than Dubai. But I always wondered where the humidity comes from here. I mean, there's no bodies of water or anything like that. So is it just coming from the Great Lakes, Scott? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea, but it is, for 2 months, well, 3 months, it's 80+% humidity and
Yeah.
90 degrees.
I think it looks like people have kept on joining. So guys, if it's cool, I think we've got everybody live right now. We'll just kick this off and turn it over to you guys in just a second. Are you all ready to roll?
Yeah. So Jeremy, with your permission, I'm going to oh, it looks like we're already recording. So,
Yep, we are good.
okay, great. Fantastic. Thanks, Jeremy.
Awesome. So, everyone, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate very much the opportunity to get to share a little bit of the things that we're doing here at Eldercare, at Brokers International, and ultimately Integrity. We have some questions that we've opened up for you guys that you can throw in the chat at any point, and we'll try to answer those. And so, as we kick off, I want to introduce a couple of folks that we have here, Sean and Scott from Brokers International. And you see Sean live, but he has an amazing picture of himself that we talked through initially putting up. So if he has to step away, Sean, you could always use that picture.
That's right. It's my proxy.
Yeah. So for those of you on the call that know me, who have worked with me, I'm Jeremy Pielemeyer, the Vice President of Eldercare Insurance Services. And for anyone that's ever heard me speak or talk on any topics related to insurance, the one thing that you know is I'm a sales guy. It's what I've always done. I started in the Medicare space in 2001, selling insurance at kitchen tables with folks. And probably like a lot of agents, you get into houses and when you're in there, you're just trying to button up the opportunity that you have with the consumer at that time. And I can tell you that for me personally, there were a lot of missed opportunities, and they weren't just in the annuity space. They weren't. It wasn't just final expense. Really, it was a lot of opportunities that I missed because I didn't take the time to fully understand what the client's needs were and how we could help them plan for the good days ahead. And so, with that said, I'm super excited today to talk through this opportunity that we have to partner with Brokers International and how they are helping us help you guys in the field take what you're doing to the next level. So, real quick, everybody knows who we are. If you're on this webinar, it's because you're probably someone that works with us in the Medicare space already, and we're an Integrity partner. One of the amazing things about Integrity is that of all the businesses that Integrity's partnered with, each business is unique and each business is different. We would say that we are a senior market agency where we specialize in Medicare, final expense, and some additional ancillary products. But we haven't always specialized or been focused on the annuity space. And Brokers International is a tremendous company that is also partnered with Integrity. And what we've done is come up with a program where we could sort of marry the two, right? Scott is working together to pilot a program where we could say, hey, we've got these partner agents and agencies that we work with, and you guys are so well equipped to support those groups. And so we want to bring you guys in with us to effectively take this integrity effect, which is what we call it, where we're able to join forces and share some of the best practices with agents. And you guys have done that for us over the last couple months, where we've piloted out with some other agents. It's been super successful. We've basically taken Medicare producers and had you guys as the subject matter experts help teach our Medicare agents not only how to recognize where a prospect is, how to help them, but really to come alongside and hold hands so that we could turn those opportunities into dollars for agents as well as helping consumers. So that's really what this is about today. For all of you that are on here, we want to introduce you to Brokers International, to Scott and Sean, to amazing guys with tons of experience, and let them talk through how we can help you guys grow your business. And the most important piece is to help consumers be better positioned when they need to be. So Sean, Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you guys, let you do some introductions, and I'll just be here. Any questions you guys have, you can chime in the group chat. I'll answer those and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Jeremy, thank you so much. And yes, everyone, please, I want this to be casual. I want this to be informative to you, the people that are listening to this right now, the people that might see this recording. That's why we're doing this. You are the most important people for this webinar and for our business, right? Jeremy, if no one listens and no one does any business, we don't have jobs. So I always try to reiterate the importance of that, and that's never lost on me. And I know it's not lost on you. You and I both came from the same, cut from the same ilk, right? We went out there and sold, and I did it for 23 years. You know, this goes back to Scott. We talked with Jeremy, or spoke with Jeremy at Las Vegas some months ago, and we talked to Jeremy about some of the initiatives that we were putting forth. And Jeremy said, frankly, he said, Sean, we have contracted agents, and you are the subject matter expert on health insurance, on Medicare, Med Advantage, whatever it might be, a world that I'm not very familiar with. That's why I have used you, Jeremy, multiple times, right? In saying, hey, can you help this agent? Can you show us what to do? Can you take care of them? And you have, that being the integrity effect, which really is a real thing. He said, Sean, we've got agents who are contracted with us. They just don't view us, which we understand, as a resource for annuities or, say, life production. They see us as a Medicare shop. And that really got us thinking. And so Scott and I went back to the proverbial chalkboard and said, all right, let's create a program that informs agents who are contracted with you about the opportunity that we have here. Now, opportunity, obviously, that's the first word in the acronym OR, opportunity at reach. It's right there at your fingertips. Scott, I'm not trying to brag, but you're going to be hard pressed to find a better annuity company than Brokers International when it comes to volume. Jeremy, we're talking about, I'm bragging a little bit, but billions of dollars a year, billions in annuity production, software and support that you've never probably seen or even knew existed. Every single carrier you could ever want, software to find out who is the right fit, who has the best MIGA payment, who has the highest bonus, who has the highest cap. Scott's going to go through some of these details, and we're trying to wow you, right? Because you know, the old saying, mi casa, su casa, Jerry, what we have is what Eldercare has. It is one and the same, because we do work for integrity. We are owned by integrity, and we want to help partner up and show you that. So Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll go through the slides for you, bud. But can you talk us through really some of the details and what we want to impress on anyone who is listening in on why, and right, Jeremy, we do sales, on why you should write your annuities with Eldercare, powered by Brokers International, as opposed to writing them wherever you are at, and see if we can make an impression on you. So with that, Scott, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and I'll go into the next slide.
And
Perfect. Oh, go ahead, Jeremy. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Sean. Thanks for that introduction. And Scott, I didn't want to cut you off, but one thing I did want to throw out is the group that we have on here, Sean and Scott. They're going to be it's going to be a wide range of experience. So we're going to have some agents on here that see annuities and are like, man, we're already doing $2, $3, $4 million a year. This is something that I pull out of my bag all the time. We're going to have agents that probably never heard of an annuity until they saw this web invite. And I think from my perspective, Scott, as you kick it off, I want to throw out a couple of things. Is one, if annuities are something that you're well versed on the agent side, like if you're one of the folks on this webinar and you're listening and you're like, hey, this is something I know really well, then that's fantastic. If it's something that you don't know really well, then we want to come in and we want to teach you. We want you to know that this program is as much about helping you take your annuity production to the next level as it is getting your annuity production to level one. And I think the big takeaway for me is I view annuities like I view final expense, right? And that's that the consumers that you're dealing with that are 55, 60, and 70, they're buying these products, and they're amazing products that drive a lot of revenue. Most importantly, they help consumers. And so if you're in the senior market and you're dealing with consumers that are 55, 60, 65, 70, and these aren't products that you're offering, then you're missing that opportunity. And before I turn it over, Scott, I know, Sean, I shared this with you. I'm sorry, I'm hijacking your time. The biggest annuity case that I think I ever wrote was a case that I didn't even intentionally do. I wrote a Medicare policy for a lady. And when I got done, I was packing up my bag and she said, oh, I sure hope or sure wish that you could help me with the return on the money I have invested like you did Medicare. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I know I was trained for this. What do I do? And so I was like fiddling around with papers. And then I went in and I had this conversation. It turns out that this lady was up in age and she actually had an annuity that was not great for her. It was not providing the return that she needed. I was able to work with somebody to put her in a much better position. And ultimately it worked out great for all parties involved. But the point to that is she sold me on selling her. I didn't sell her anything. And I think that that's a testament to the opportunities that I missed as an agent in the field. And, you know, I'm pretty passionate about my job. And so I feel like if I'm not having those conversations, and really and truly I'm letting folks down. So Scott, sorry that was long-winded, but back to you. I think it's important for you guys to know that a lot of the folks on here probably would really like to be in this space. They just don't know how to get started in the space.
Yeah, and Scott, I'm going to hijack more time because Jeremy makes a fantastic point. Okay, Jeremy, you're right. And if you're listening to this and you say, hey, you know, I joined this webinar because I want to know more about this. I want to add this to my repertoire. I'm telling you, as someone who still holds a securities license, I own my own RIA. The people you sit with every day, every year are a gold mine. Now, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. They're human beings. We have a servant's heart. We're there to help them, Jeremy, right? And I think Medicare agents do a fantastic job because they always look for what's the best fit for the client. But many of them are underserved, right, Jeremy? Maybe they don't have $60 million of assets and all these financial advisors or attorneys that want to help them out. Maybe they have $330,000 in an IRA and that's it. Maybe they have $80,000. You are in a position to help them. So if you have that question or if you want to hit it in the chat or the Q&A and say, hey, I need to know some of the basics, Scott, there's no better place than here.
Yep.
Eldercare has fully supported us. In fact, we have an entire system that Eldercare has deployed that is trained, that is built to get you confident and compliant and give you the starting point. And I teach a one-question sales system that you can go out and promulgate under, during annual enrollment or however you want to do it and become very successful. So thank you, Jeremy, for that, because whether you're brand new, we call that a neophyte, right, to annuities, or you're someone out there who's writing annuities already, we can help and we can increase what you're doing, and it's a win-win situation. So now, Scott, with that said, please walk us through a little bit about Brokers International and how we can support Eldercare.
Yeah, and I'll elaborate a little bit on that. We have training really to meet everyone where they're at, whether they're advanced, whether they're new, or somewhere in between. To highlight a couple of points that Jeremy made, there's no better time to be in this business, right? There's a lot of volatility. Um, the annuity products have never looked better than they do today. Really good companies, products, rates out there. So it's very timely to have this conversation because, again, there's no better time to be in this business. Sean and I lead sales here at Brokers International, and a few things are very important to us, right? We value the relationship with Eldercare, the potential and opportunity to have a relationship with everybody on this call, and we want to help grow your business. That is the number one goal. How can we have an impact and put you in the best position possible and help you grow your business? So we'll kick things off with just posing a question. What do you need? The folks on this call, what do you need to grow your business? And here's a few questions that I'd like to pose. Are you looking for more resources and technology? Technology is getting into every sector out there right now, and it's helping us improve efficiencies, provide transparency, and things of that nature. And I'll talk about some of the technology that we have proprietary here in partnership with Eldercare to offer you as agents on this call. Many want more lead prospect marketing content. If you are in the health space or P&C space, whatever space that you're in, we have a lot of content that you can plug into to help create some opportunity within your current client base. So we'll talk about that too. Or maybe you're very experienced agents on this call and you've really maxed out the compensation with your current FMO, whatever that looks like. Those are conversations that we'd like to have with you to see what that looks like. Many of our competitors talk about white glove service, and I'm a little bit biased because I work at Brokers International, but I feel we have the best service and support that's out there with the knowledge base of our team, the tenure of our team, which I'll dive into here in a little bit. And then, of course, we have numerous carriers on the annuity and life insurance side that really cover all the opportunities that you could run into. And we'll talk about carrier options here in a second. So, Sean, if you don't mind moving to the next slide, we're extremely excited to be partnered with Eldercare and together partnering on this opportunity to help support from annuity and life insurance perspective. Again, combined with the great value add that Eldercare has already proven to everybody on the phone here, Brokers International really helps complement all of that and has a very similar view. We've been around for 40 plus years. So we're one of the oldest and largest IMOs in the space. But that doesn't go without saying. We're continuing to invest in the business to be very relevant when it comes to some of the things like technology, marketing, and cutting edge marketing concepts that, again, can help create a lot of opportunity for you. Just a few stats on us: over $70 billion in lifetime annuity premium. We have over 175 relationships just like Eldercare. And I mentioned that because not to brag, but I feel like we're pretty good at it. We're really set up to help support Eldercare and all the agents underneath it. And we've been doing this for a long time. Over 1 million insureds covered. And again, I mentioned access to carriers. We have 80 plus carrier relationships between all of our life insurance carrier partnerships as well as annuity. So let's talk a little bit more about service and support. White glove sales support, same day service. We have folks in our sales support team that have been here 5 years all the way up to 30 years. So as you can imagine, they're on the phone all day talking through cases, whether it's maybe a straightforward MIGA case all the way into some of the more complicated strategies that are out there. You're going to be able to call them. You're going to be able to email them. They're going to get back to you usually within an hour or two if they don't answer the phone right away. Otherwise, we're looking at 24 hours at maximum. So very quick turnaround. We know that this business is all about timing, and we want to help support you and put you in the best position possible when meeting with your clients. Our team of experts shop the product options for you. We have software that helps us with this. We're here in Iowa. Most of the big annuity carriers are located right here in Des Moines, so we have great relationships with them. So we can leverage those relationships to make sure that we're putting you and your clients in the best position possible with every case that you submit to us. We have a full suite of sales tools to make it very easy. A lot of those are at your fingertips through our proprietary technology called Business Builder, which I'll talk to you in a second. We also have some software out there, whether you want to get into some of the software to help position annuities based on maybe their total portfolio, or maybe you just want to compare products and carriers on your own. We have some software that can help you do that. Again, just by being a partner with Eldercare and Brokers International. But as you get into some more advanced markets cases, we have some great resources there. We have a partner, Heather Schreiber, with HLS Retirement Consultants. That's a Social Security expert. And the great thing about our partnership with her is it's exclusive to Brokers International. Everybody on this call will get access to it. And if you have a client scenario that you'd like somebody to review, she'll hop on the phone with you, work through all the questions that you have to make sure that you're positioning yourself as the expert and helping your clients in the best way possible. We also have advanced markets from a life insurance perspective. We can also get a hold of some of our carriers to help walk through some of those cases so that we do all the homework on the front end to best place that case and have it go through smooth at the carrier. That's not only on the life insurance side, but annuity as well. And then operations support for contracting and new business. We've invested a lot of money in streamlining the contracting process to the point where when you log into our technology platform, you can see when you submit it, when it gets to the carrier, and everything in between until it goes active. So we provide full transparency on that process. And then also new business. We understand that that's a delicate part of, writing business, right? First is a sale, and then we need to get that application through, get it approved and enforced. We take that very seriously, and we provide a lot of communication back and forth and transparency, not only through email and phone calls, but again on our technology platform so that you can see it 24 hours a day. Leads and marketing opportunities. You're going to have access to client lead programs. We have a relationship with a company called RA Marketing that can generate client leads for you if you're looking for life insurance leads, annuity leads. They also have a credibility program. So if you're looking to boost your presence or brand in this space, they can help you do that. They also have some turnkey seminar programs and systems that you can plug into that are very cost effective. They like to use digital. It keeps the cost down, but they've been very good and very consistent at providing good quality leads for all the agents that take part. And we have a nice discount and enterprise deal with them as well that all of you can take advantage of. We also have a turnkey public service employee program. So if you want to get in front of school teachers and folks in the public sector, this isn't just a lead program. You're buying an appointment, right? So if you want a guaranteed appointment at a very, very affordable cost, this program will do that for you. And if appointment doesn't show up, the money's not lost. They fill it with another appointment. So another new program that we just implemented here in the last few months that we're getting some really good traction with. We've invested a lot of money in creating some turnkey sales campaigns. And I know, Sean, you're very passionate about this too. The first one that we launched that's in pilot right now is around long-term care. And we think long-term care is a great conversation that a lot of clients want to have and need to have. And we're going to provide you all of the tools to have that conversation, to help educate you on what all the options are, give you a presentation that you can put in front of your clients, but then also some marketing collateral that you can use through social media, email campaigns, direct mail, whatever you're comfortable with. We have the content created that you'll be able to plug into. We also have access to local media outlets. So if you're looking to build your brand locally, I have some friends here in Des Moines that are in the business, that are on the news a couple times a month talking about relevant financial topics that are happening. Agents in the News is a program that we have access to, and we have some open markets there. So if that's of interest, it's a great way to build your brand and create some trust and credibility in your market. And finally, all the things that we create from a marketing collateral standpoint, we white label. Again, we want to put you in the best position possible with your clients, put your brand on these. So all the marketing pieces that we create that are client facing are white labeled, and we'll help you do that.
And Scott, let me dive just slightly deeper on one of the points that you made. And Jeremy, you're going to agree. We've talked about this before. I've known Jeremy for a number of years now. The market that you service, if you're servicing Medicare clients, you're going to have a lot of people, right? Because Jeremy, we don't think about long-term care when we're 20. Heck, we don't think about much when we're 20. We don't think about when we're 30. We don't think about 40. When do people start searching for long-term care? Usually when it's too late. There's a reason why, according to longtermcare.gov, over 70% of people who are 65 are going to need some form of long-term care. Yet statistically, only 4% of Americans have a true long-term care policy. So I'm mentioning that because what Scott talked about is we have an actual, I mean, soup to nuts, cradle to grave, turnkey, long-term care sales system, everything from the scripts. I don't think I'm supposed to say scripts from a compliance standpoint, but Jeremy, you get what I'm saying, like how to approach the client, what collateral to use, how to present it to them. And then if they have some assets that you discover, Scott, we have hybrid programs, we have hybrid products, annuity products that they can reallocate and satisfy their long-term care needs, and you get paid for it and help the client. And if they don't, we have life insurance products that can do the same thing. So it's really kind of a golden scenario because you're solving a problem that exists. You all are out there in the trenches and you're meeting with clients. I mean, I say this kind of rhetorically, but raise your hand if you feel that you have clients in your existing book of business and clients that you'll meet over the next year who need help with long-term care. That alone, that product alone, Jeremy, if we could implement for all the Eldercare agents, my guess is that everybody's annuity production would triple. And that's how powerful it is, as well as life, right, Scott? Let's not forget about life, because if you don't have the assets to reallocate, if you don't have an IRA, a 401k, a 403b, et cetera, then you can still purchase a life insurance policy, which can satisfy that. In fact, there are some indemnification policies. There are some policies out there that are hybrid policies that actually have true long-term care benefits in them. So the market has become very sophisticated. We can explain it to you, and we have a turnkey marketing system that would be a perfect fit for you agents who are listening in when it comes to dovetailing with the clients that you're servicing.
And Sean, to add on to that, with our support model, you don't have to be a long-term care expert, right? We can teach you
yes.
the talk track, we'll call it, the fact finding, what information that we need, and then we can help put solutions together and help educate you on the benefits of whatever the solution is, whether it's annuity, life insurance. But we give you all the tools to have the conversation, gather the right data, and then the best time to educate is when you have a live case. Right. And I think that's what the sales support team does a really good job of, is walking through cases to make sure, again, everybody on the call, if you're a little bit newer to the business, is confident and compliant when introducing a lot of these solutions. That's a good point, Sean, for sure.
Yeah. And I think just to add to that, like as I see this screen up right now, Scott, like if I'm a producing agent who has written a case, let's say in the last 12 months, I'm going to understand all of the value and benefit of having Business Builder. But then as I listened to Sean a couple of minutes ago, he's like mentioned things like 401k, IRAs, EIAs, 403bs, 1035 exchanges. Like these are all things that as someone who understands annuities, like I get all of those acronyms and what they mean. But if I'm somebody who's never produced anything, then there's probably like this glaze over of like, I have no idea what all of that stuff means. And so one thing I might add is over in the comments, you can chime in, and I would love to know of the folks that are on this this current web call, like maybe you could just chime in like, yes, you've written a case in the last 12 months, or no, you haven't. And I would love to know that, because I think what it would do is allow us, Sean, to be able to put together another call for those folks that are like, no, I've never done a case in the last, or haven't in the last 12 months, that we could go back in and have these conversations. Because one of the things that I loved you said a minute ago, Sean, is that you can do some training. And look, we see things on LinkedIn and social media like, hey, do you want to take your business to the next level? For $900 or whatever, we'll teach you how to do these things. But we're in partner with agents, and we want to teach these things for free, just because they're our partners. So maybe if we could get folks to chime in, no, I haven't written a case in the last 12 months. I'd love to have like a 101 on annuities, long-term care, so we could start that foundation and build from there.
Excellent. That's a great idea, Jeremy.
Cool. Fantastic. So I mentioned earlier, we have a proprietary technology platform. It's called Business Builder. All the agents on this call, when you get contracted with Eldercare, you'll have access to your own platform, and it's very specific to you. There's a lot of different things to take advantage of out here. Weekly carrier updates. When rates change, there's different incentives, things of that nature. We put that in the important updates tab. You can see highlighted in red there on the left-hand side. We put all the tools that you need. If you're like some of the agents that we work with and you like to be self-sufficient, running your own life insurance quotes or doing some comparisons, excuse me, on the annuity side, you're going to be able to access a lot of the tools that are out there at your fingertips anytime that you would like. I had mentioned that contracting is an area that we're really trying to streamline and make very, very efficient. You're going to be able to see all the contracts that you've submitted out on Business Builder and exactly where they're at in the process. And again, being a one-stop shop, you can not only quote your business, but you can also submit all of your business through Business Builder. There's Firelight out there primarily for the annuity side, iPipeline as well. So you could submit all of your business and then track that business out here as well, right? We all like to be able to see where my case is at, where all of my cases are at, especially if you're writing multiple carriers, right? Instead of going into each individual website, wouldn't it be nice to have everything in one spot so you can see that snapshot any day of the week? You could track your production. You could see carrier trends, how long it's taking them to issue business, how long it stays in pending. And the other nice thing about this is you can set up for notifications. So if you're an agent, I get it. You don't want to have to log in here every day to see if there's any updates. You can actually set up notifications so you receive a text when there's an update on your new business, for example, or if you'd like email or both. And you can even set what you get notifications on so that it's most meaningful to you. Maybe it's just contracting a new business, for example. But those are all things that you get to personalize. You know, and as we go through this, we're happy to set up some demos on this so we can answer some questions specifically about the platform. But this is a platform that most of our agents plug into and they love. It's a place that they go to almost daily just to get updates. One of the great things that we've added to it is our training, Accelerate Course Catalog. One of the powers of being an integrity partner is that we've invested a lot in training and providing a lot of content out there that's on demand. All of our training is around 5 to 10 minute webinars, so very digestible. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can access it whenever you like. It's a video library, so you can see some of the topics here: retirement and income planning, all the different life insurance solutions. It breaks down how IULs work. The LTC campaign is out here. Business development. Social Security income planning. I talked about that Social Security resource that we have. Heather provides a lot of content that we put out here they have access to. And then all the technology that we offer, we have trainings out here so that you can do it on your time and you're not dependent on us to get started. So the training has been a big focus of ours, and we keep adding additional content out here as created. And now the fun part, incentives. We offer competitive commissions. We'd love to have a conversation with you about, what that looks like for you. Depending on your production, you may qualify for various marketing programs, and we can help supplement some of those costs. And we could talk about that specifically with each one of you, and we're excited to do that. But today, I'm going to turn it over to Sean. We're excited to talk about a new and exclusive signing bonus. Sean, do you want to highlight that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you going over everything there. And this is something that, again, getting back to when Jeremy, when we were in Las Vegas and we walked through this, and Jeremy said, "Hey, here's what agents need. Here's what we want to do." We came up with this idea that in partnership with Eldercare, we wanted to, as the saying goes, put our money where our mouth is, right? Hey, we've got all these fantastic tools for you. Jeremy, like you, and I've said this before, I've been in the industry for 23 years. I sold for 2 decades. I understand relationships are established. I understand it's not the easiest thing to move a contract. So you might look at all of these things that we have shown you, and you might think, man, I can get higher compensation. I could have access to more carriers. I could have Business Builder. I could be getting notifications on my phone when I get updates on my policy. I've got this white glove support. I've got access to leads. I mean, Scott, come on, that's enough to entice you. And like Jeremy said, if you're brand new and you say, wow, I want to do this, but I've never done it, we can help. In fact, that's my specialty. But if you're out there and you're already writing annuities somewhere else, we know it can be tough to move. We know it can be tough to break up that relationship or whatever it might be. So what we're doing is we're partnering with Eldercare to offer a straight up signing bonus. You know, Scott, we talk about the analogy of, man, wouldn't it be nice to be an all-pro quarterback in the NFL and everybody wants to pay for you, right?
Yep.
Well, you know, we don't have as much money as NFL owners do, but we do have the ability to say, hey, let's take a look at what the production they've done, bet on them, right? That's us believing in you and say, let's give you some money. Let's give you a signing bonus. So here's how it works. We're going to take a look at your previous 2 years production. And what I'm looking at here, and Jeremy, you can attest to this, maybe you wrote an annuity 6 years ago, and you know that was a one-time thing. We want to look at your last 2 year average. So if you are active writing annuities, we want to see it. We're going to require a carrier report, and we're going to look at that and come up with a number. And then we calculate that number to figure out what your signing bonus is. This is a hypothetical example, but let's say that signing bonus, and this could go for an agent or an agency, Scott, right? You know, we're looking at the aggregate sum or the aggregate total. Let's say the signing bonus to this agent or agency is $13,500. So Eldercare is going to pay you $13,500. Now, we have to be smart about it. So what they're going to do is they're going to give you 25% of it up front. They're going to give you 25%, or in this hypothetical example, over $3,300 that is paid directly to you as a check, right? As a deposit. Once you have contracted, and when we say contracted, we mean a meaningful contract. So Scott, if we were offering a signing bonus to you and you had written carrier XYZ over the last 2 years, it was 70% of your carrier production. We want that contract. If you can't get a release, then we will find a similar carrier that you can contract with while you're waiting the 6 months. And Jeremy, please, when I'm done here, if that is confusing, if people are understanding, or if you're listening to this and none of this makes sense, please ask the questions. I can see we have 6 questions now, so they're building up. That's fantastic because we're going to answer them. But we want to make sure, and Brian, we'll get to you. We want to make sure that you understand exactly how this works. But we're going to say, hey, we're going to pay you 25% of this this bonus up front once we get a good contract from you. All right. And then we'll work with you on moving all the contracts over as we can, whether you can get a release or not. Now, at the end of 13 months, and the reason we do that is it gives us a chance to look at a full year's production, make all the calculations and say, hey, here's what you did. We're going to be doing a true up. Now, let's say you hit it right on the screws. All right. You hit your 2 year average on the screws. Well, then you would be owed another $10,125. Phenomenal, right? So not only are you getting all these things that Scott mentioned, you're able to consolidate your contracts, keep them at Eldercare to offer everything, not just Medicare, MedSup, MedAdvantage, but annuities and hopefully life, Scott, too. Well, then you're going to get paid for that. But let's say you fell a little short. You didn't sell as many annuities. No problem. We will adjust it, but we will still pay you out the remainder of the bonus. And let's say on a more positive note that you beat the expectations. Well, guess what? We'll pay you more. So that's how the bonus program works. We're going to do a true up, whether it's more positive, more negative, and I hope it's the former, not the latter. And Scott, Jeremy, if you're writing annuities and then you switch to brokers, chances are you will write more annuities because of our support, because of our sales system, because of all the things that Scott had mentioned. Now, here are the qualifications. We are going to look at a 2 year look back. We've got to have that meaningful carrier contract. So Jeremy, if you're writing annuities, and let's say, I'm actually going to name a carrier here, which I normally try to avoid, but let's say you're writing annuities through American Equity. Jeremy, that's your company. You love writing their products. You love their support. We need that contract or a similar contract. We can't have you give us some abstract, or I should say, excuse me, obscure contract from some company that we've never even heard of and expect to get paid a bonus. We need it to be a meaningful contract, because our partnership with Eldercare, you know, this is two companies coming together to literally pay you money on something you haven't even done yet. So we believe in you, we're betting on you, but we need to take this seriously. Every one that we look at is going to be subject to management approval, and we can't. We talk about the integrity partnership. You have to be a new agent to the integrity hierarchy. We can't be robbing Peter to pay Paul. We can't. We will not be taking people away from existing integrity carriers. And Jeremy, if that needs explanation or further explanation, please let us know. And so the next steps are this. Jeremy is the point person for this, right? You're the John Stockton, you're the point guy, Jeremy. You're going to be fielding this, but please contact Jeremy. And Jeremy, if you want to provide additional emails, people that they can contact, great, because I know that could be a large body of work. And to be eligible, we will look at your 2-year average, but we do want you to have at least $1 million of lifetime annuity production, meaning, Scott, that we're looking for people who do have an idea of what they're doing. If you don't, please still submit. And the reason I say that is, if you feel like you're an annuity writer, we can make exceptions on that. We're just using that as a basic guideline to say we want to recruit, we want to pay cash bonuses to people who know what they're doing. I'll use the NFL analogy again. I'm a big football fan. You know, they've got football in Arkansas, right? Go Hogs. They got football in Iowa. You want to make sure that someone knows how to block and tackle, throw and catch, run the ball, before you start sending out signing bonuses. It's usually just a sound business practice. And then the carrier production report is what we're going to require. We need to see it. Scott, I've been in this industry a long time, and I've told you this before. I wish it was funny. It's not necessarily, but it is true. If 10 people come to me and tell me how much production they do, 9 of them are embellishing, and let's put it that way. So we are going to need a carrier production report so we can see what you've done. And then you're going to need to fill out all the necessary tax forms with Eldercare so that they can pay you. And perhaps, Jeremy, these people already are set up in your system, so that's not a concern. But that's what we have as far as next steps. So I have Jeremy's email there. Jeremy, if you have anything in addition to add to that, please let us know. But at this point, we're ready to open it up for questions, and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the screen. And Jeremy, I'm going to kick it to you real quick just to make sure that we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, so thanks for that. I've put into the group chat my name, email address, and then a phone number. And one thing I wanted to clarify, which I think you did a good job of, but just to add to that point, is the $1 million in production that we'd like to see for the signing bonus has nothing to do with like if you don't do $1 million or never have done $1 million, the support that you guys have available is still available to that agent if they want to contract for the first time and learn the business. And then I'm sort of speaking for you here, and I hate to do that. You can group chat me on the side and say, hey, you shouldn't have said that. But if where we talked about the qualification being you're not already an integrity agent. If you are an integrity agent underneath an integrity partner, I think it's safe for me to assume that you guys are still more than happy to help support them through that other partner as well. Like if somebody's on here and they see Business Builder and these pieces that are fantastic that they don't have access to, I don't want them to think that they can't still figure out how to get that access. And so in saying that, we've got some questions coming in, and a few of them are folks chiming in saying if they have or have not written annuities in the last 12 months. And so what I would say is we've got kind of a mixed bag. Some folks that said, hey, I've written some that say, no, I've never written, I'm new to annuities. You guys have my email address. What I would say is if you want to learn more, and this is something you're really committed to taking the next step on, then shoot me an email. Let's set up a time to have a conversation. And Sean, what I'd like to do is talk to these agents ahead of time before we get them over to talk to you guys. There is a question here posed. What is the age and income for the average annuity buyer for marketing purposes. And so I'll turn that over to you guys and let you answer that real quick.
Yeah, let me answer. That's a great question. Uh, the people that you sit down with, if you're servicing Medicare clients, are the ideal people. Jeremy, when I was 20 something years old, I had a ton of what we call human capital, right? That's my ability to do, learn, and earn. I had no financial capital. I didn't have a paid off house. I didn't have a 401k. I could barely rub two nickels together. So the average is probably going to be people who are above 50, right? Scott, would you agree? I mean, you get above 50, you get above 60. Now, your Percy account, your 401k, your defined contribution account, whatever it might be, has been built up. And I don't care if that's $48,000 or $480,000 or $4.8 million. And what I really have a passion for is helping the people who are the underserved, right, Jeremy? The ones that, to be a client of Fisher Investments, a company that I have no issues with. I think they do a good job as a fiduciary, as an RIA. But to be a client of Fisher Investments, you have to have like $500,000 or $1 million, or they won't even talk to you. You're going to run into a lot of people who are getting ready for retirement or who are in retirement, who need help, and they don't have the ability to go speak to someone at Fisher Investments. Again, just using that as an example. But I'm going to talk to you really quickly about Glide Path. I want everybody to understand that. Write that down. Google it. Glide Path. Tom Hegna does a great job teaching about it. The 7 or so years leading up to retirement and the 7 or so years after retirement. So let's say you're going to retire at 65, Jeremy. 7 years prior and 7 years after are the most sensitive and important years of your retirement. Why is that? Well, it's because leading up to retirement, we're more worried about not losing 10% in our in our account than we are about getting all of the next 10% gains. I'd rather get 7% gains and no losses than I would get 10% gains and be subject to a 10% loss. So that's called Glide Path in preparation. Now let's look at post-retirement. You have to live off that money forever. If you have big losses early in retirement, you could be behind the proverbial 8 ball, and you now you need to die by age 76 because you're going to run out of money. And I say that, it's not funny though, right? Because it's the truth. And so that Glide Path kind of answers your question. I think it's a great question. So be sensitive to people who are 7 years leading up to retirement and 7 years after, which that large swath covers a lot of the people that you're sitting down with.
Cool. Thanks for that info. And I think, I don't know, to be sensitive to everyone's time, if we're ready to close out, if you guys have anything else to say, I think the last thing that I'll say, and then let you guys sign off, is everybody who's on this call that's in the Medicare space is aware of all the things that we've been told for years. There's 10,000 people a day turning 65, and the market is massive for us to go out and help people. One thing on the financial side that you guys know better than anyone is that, we hear that the greatest generation is this World War II generation. For some of us, it's our parents. For others, it's our grandparents. But these are the folks that hold a ton of the wealth in this country. And so I guess they're calling it like the great wealth transfer, as that group of the greatest generation is getting older and ultimately leaving their assets to their kids and grandkids. Like this money needs to be parked somewhere. And the last thing, to your point, Sean, that any of these folks want is to be 70 years old, 75 years old, and have their money at risk. And so I think as trusted advisors, folks that these people look to help with insurance and plan for their good days ahead, like we need to be having those conversations to make sure that money's safe. I don't know how many of us were around like in 2008 or even 2020 when we had the financial crisis and then COVID, but we saw the market drop, 50% in 2008. And to the point you made a minute ago, if you were somebody who was 70 years old looking to retire at 72 and your portfolio went from 200,000 to 95,000, that's a huge hit. And I really have a passion and a feeling that that's our job to educate consumers so it doesn't happen to them. So I say that to say the opportunity is massive right now. And I think that if if we are not having that conversation with the people that trust us to handle their insurance, I think we're missing the opportunity to serve them better.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. We did see a lot of people in the comments or in the questions who said that they haven't written them, but they want to they want to add them. So I will leave you with this last comment, and I'm going to share my screen just very quickly here. Eldercare is set up for helping you. So just if you are not aware, Eldercare has deployed something that is exclusive through them called the Life and Annuity Resource Center. Hopefully you can see it on my screen now. But what this is we have a annuity training series where yours truly, I personally go through an 11 video series course. It's 88 minutes, Jeremy, right? It's like investing in a movie, and you're going to become very confident and very compliant by watching this video series. You're going to feel like, my goodness, I can go out and do this. And we do the same thing on the life insurance side. I teach a one-question sales system, the golden question, which you'll love to hear, you'll love to find out. You're going to go out there feeling really confident. And it uses this financial inventory or confidential needs analysis, which Jeremy has reviewed and is customized specifically for elder care agents. And then, Jeremy, when we have a scenario, all you have to do is click on this secure portal. And whether it's annuity life or you just have a question, you securely submit everything, and at no cost to you, the experts are going to take a look at it and support you with that. You can start your e-applications, you can get appointed. All these resources are here, and we have a webinar series that we are doing on a annual basis or on a consistent basis. So, Jeremy, I wanted to mention that because you who are on this call who are not writing annuities, that is our specialty. We can help you write annuities, and Eldercare is set up to do it. So when you think of annuities, when you think of life insurance, think of Eldercare. Don't think of them as just a Medicare shop, because they have the full support backing and the expertise of Brokers International.
Cool. Scott, is there anything you want to add before we let everyone have their morning back?
No, I just want to say thank you, for everybody taking the time to meet with us. We're very excited about the partnership, and just looking at some of the comments, I know that there's been some folks on here that have interacted with our team, and happy to hear that it went well. And I would expect that service for everyone else, as they interact with Brokers International. We hold ourselves to a high bar, just like the folks at Eldercare. We want to provide that excellent service. So please reach out to us, reach out to Jeremy. We'd love to connect with you, learn more about your business and ways that we can help you grow.
Cool. Well, thanks guys so much for your time. I appreciate you stepping out of what you do every day to help. And I think that the challenge I would give to the folks on this is, let's take the next step. Like, reach out, let's figure out, if you're writing cases, how do we get you next level support and get you over to working with us. And if you're not writing cases, let's figure out and help you get that across the finish line. So thanks so much for everyone's time. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right.